Will with BoreBuddy. Today we're talking about bolt weights and which type you should use in which application. So we've got our bolt weights on the table here. We have a standard simple stainless steel weight that is not adjustable. We've got a standard adjustable kit that's stainless steel body, stainless steel back plate, and then we have two different lightweight kits that are an aluminum body and a stainless steel back plate. So if we weigh both of these, starting with the fixed weight, we get 1.35 ounces. Then this adjustable weight is set up in its heaviest configuration. We get 1.86 ounces. And then for the lightweight adjustable setup in its heaviest configuration, we get 1.15 ounces. And then with the lightweight setup in its lightest configuration, we get 0.76 ounces. So when would you use each of these in what application? So the fixed stainless weight is the weight that we designed for 16-inch or longer barrels, dedicated uppers that are firing only in semi-automatic mode and generally only with high velocity ammo. So the weight of that kit at 1.35 ounces is just about perfect to run almost every high velocity ammo type and even some standard velocity ammo types without any problems in a 16-inch barrel. The adjustable weight is for a similar situation, but it can be tuned up or down. So this is at the highest weight setting is a little bit heavier at 1.86, and that's good for long barrels, high velocity ammo. You can take this down to around 1 ounce on the bottom end, and so then you can use it with barrels that are a little bit shorter, down to about 12 inches, and still be able to tune for standard and high velocity ammo. The lightweight kits we recommend for barrels that are less than 12 inches long. At their heaviest configuration, they are similar to the fixed stainless weight and the kind of the mid-range adjustable weight. Total weight, and then when they get down lighter, they're about half of what this one can be empty. So those are great for 4.5-inch barrels, 12-inch barrels, 7-inch barrels. They're also good for longer barreled rifles with very low powered ammo. The adjustable weights in general are good if you have a registered M16, you're shooting full auto, you're shooting binary, fast rates of fire. All of these will cut port pop with the suppressor, and all of these will keep your rifle a little bit cleaner. If you have any question on which one you're going to buy and you have multiple setups and you're only going to buy one kit, we generally recommend the lightweight bolt weight since it can be run in longer barreled rifles without any issues, but you just kind of lose a bit of the top end as far as weight goes. So you'd run into problems potentially if you're running hyper velocity ammo like Stingers or Velocitors. You won't have any safety issues, you won't have any reliability issues, you're just not quite heavy enough on the weight for optimal performance. But generally for high velocity use, you can get away with these bolt weights. It is important to note that these weights do require the use of a bolt buffer. Without that bolt buffer, the weight, all of the force of the weight cycling is concentrated right onto that little notch. And it can wear the weights out pretty quickly without the buffer, and it beats your bolt up, and it's just generally not a great idea. With a weight kit installed, the life of this buffer is thousands and thousands of rounds, so that's not a concern. But yeah, to recap, 16-inch or longer barrels, semi-automatic only. 12-inch or longer barrels, semi-automatic, binary, full auto. Generally 12-inch, less than 12-inch barrels, high velocity or standard velocity, full auto, binary, or semi-automatic on any of these adjustable weights. With a 4.5-inch barrel, don't even try and use those. 4.5-inch builds need the lightweight kit with very, very few exceptions. As far as weight setup goes with internal weights, generally, starting with the standard adjustable weight, if you're going to be running a 16-inch barrel and high velocity ammo, you'll want the stainless steel inserts inside of that weight. If you're running standard velocity ammo and a 16-inch barrel, you'll want the aluminum weights in that to start. And then you can adjust up or down from there to tune to your specific load. If you're running a 12-inch barrel with high velocity ammo, you can start with the stainless internal weights, but it's probably going to be more balanced with about half stainless and half aluminum inside. On the lightweight kits, if you're running something close to a 12-inch barrel or a 12-inch barrel, start with all the stainless weights internally for high velocity and standard velocity. If you are running a 4.5-inch barrel, then with high velocity ammo, you can start with the stainless weights installed, but you may need to run some of the aluminums. If you're running standard velocity or subsonics in the 4.5-inch barrel, you will want to start with the aluminum internal weights. Something to note with a 4.5-inch barrel is just about everything comes out of that barrel subsonic. So it really will behoove you to use a high velocity ammo in a 4.5-inch barrel, because you do get much, much better cycling and less malfunctions when you do that. But other than that, that's a basic rundown on how to tune each of these weights for different setups. I guess we should probably go through the symptoms of over or underweight. So if you're underweight, severely underweight, like if you don't have any of these weights in your bolt group and you're shooting high velocity ammo, you'll notice the rifle is very gassy. If you have a suppressor, there will be a ton of port pop on almost every shot. That's the symptom of underweight, so you'll want to add some weight from there. And you also get bolt bounce, which really shows up more as a problem in full auto configurations due to timing and other factors. But in semi-automatic mode, if you are overweight on these, you'll get a dead trigger. So you'll load your rifle, first round off the mag, it'll fire no problem, and then you'll get a dead trigger, you pull it, nothing happens. And then when you eject that round, you may see what looks like a light strike, but it's likely just hammer follow. So you want to back off from the weight configuration and go lighter. And we recommend going completely to the lightest end and then working back up from there if you are getting dead triggers. And work up until you can go through an entire mag without a dead trigger. If you start getting occasional dead trigger, then back off slightly on the weight. But those are the symptoms of over or underweight. The weight kits and the weight of the bolt is very forgiving as long as you have some weight in the bolt. So if you're not perfectly tuned and you're a little bit underweight, that's better than being severely underweight. And it's also better than being slightly overweight. So if you're in doubt, just tune a little bit lighter than you possibly could, and that'll give you more flexibility on ammo types.